Of all the snacks out there in the world, Doritos are the most loved, and really it is not a matter of debate or mystery as to why that is. With over 100 flavors and availability in almost all the countries in the world, Doritos is a snack that began on the back of America's loved playground, Disneyland. Now they are one of the most successful snack foods ever, leading the snacks market with over $1.5 billion in annual sales in the US alone. What is the rise of Doritos' success? What even are Doritos? What makes them so good, and what are their health benefits? Let's find out. Long before the world heard and tasted the goodness of the Doritos, Herman Cortez, when he conquered Mexico in 1521, captured the vast wealth of Aztec gold. He historically also introduced the world to the perfect snack, the tortilla. Tortilla chips were loved by all in Mexico, and not long after, it was a known snack across the Pacific. By 1984, Doritos tortilla chips had taken Australia by storm. However, there are two theories of how Doritos actually came to be Doritos, but the binding factor is that the idea for Doritos began in Disneyland. The first story says there once was a time when Disneyland was home to Frito-Lay's Mexican restaurant, Casa de Fritos. Then one day, a salesman from Alex Foods, the tortilla factory that supplied the restaurant, noticed that the cooks were throwing out stale tortillas and advised that instead of doing this, they would make more profit frying the tortillas in oil for a crispy snack. They did this, and it was a big hit, and at this point, Frito-Lay was unaware of the development. Eventually, it got to Arch West, who visited Casa de Fritos, tasted the Doritos, and loved it. He immediately started production in 1964 and went nationwide in 1966. The second story says Arch West was, in fact, the one who invented the Doritos. In 1964, while on a family vacation in Southern California, West happened upon a roadside shack selling greasy bags of toasted tortillas. He knew he had stumbled onto something special. He immediately pitched the idea of crisp triangular tortilla chips to his company, saying they would perfectly complement the company's other products, the thinner Lay's potato chips and thicker Fritos corn chips. However, interns found out that Frito-Lay doesn't know the truth of the matter. We don't have anything in our records or archives that confirms it. It's difficult for us today to say where inspiration did and did not come from. We don't credit any one individual for inventing our products, Public Relations Director Joan Cetera told Huffington Post. Doritos are tortilla corn chips, literally translated from the Spanish Doritos means little bits of gold. Legends have it that it was indeed Arch West who gave the perfect snack its golden name. People have often emphasized the finger-licking goodness that is Doritos and how picking one chip always draws you back to pick another. At first glance, it might seem like sorcery because why is it just so darn good? However, in closer observation by scientists, the reason Doritos are the perfect snack has been explained. Some of the reasons a scientist gave as to how the Doritos have been engineered to be the perfect snacks are: 1. Its intoxicating flavor. There are two major pleasure solids in every chip: sugar and salt. Each chip is also loaded with flavor boosters like MSG, disodium inosinate, and disodium guanylate. 2. It triggers saliva. The powder contains acids, buttermilk solids, lactic acid, and citric acid that trigger saliva's release. That's pleasurable and a factor that makes everything taste better. 3. Cucivore compounds. It has been theorized that humans evolved to crave compounds found in cooked food. If so, then Doritos, with corn that is toasted and then fried in oil, is just what we're looking for. 4. The cheese effect. Cheese is delicious. When digested, it also releases casomorphin, a compound that slows digestion, stimulates fat intake, and may even have a narcotic effect. 5. High dynamic contrast. Your brain is excited by the sensation of biting into a hard substance that quickly dissolves. This is also an example of vanishing caloric density, where food seems to disappear in your mouth, tricking your brain into wanting more. 6. The perfect ratio of fat. Your brain likes fat, and 12 milligrams per serving is a good start. Your brain also likes when around half of the calories come from fat, according to Witherly, and Doritos nails it with 70/140. 7. Long hang time. Flavors like garlic, onions, and cheese spread fast, particularly when they're found in fat calories, especially when mixed with saliva and warmed up in the mouth. This conditions your brain to crave food and can incite cravings in anyone in the room. 8. Finger-licking good. The stuff on your fingers is 5 to 6 times more concentrated than the stuff on the chip. Your brain gets a pleasure explosion when you lick it off. 9. Too much flavor? Rumor has it that, back in the 90s, Frito-Lay reduced the amount of garlic powder in the chip because people were complaining about Doritos breath. Doritos breath is still a problem. Doritos might be the perfect snack, but like any other product, it is sometimes found during a controversy. Such as the time when Indra Nooyi, CEO of PepsiCo, Frito-Lay's parent company, made some surprising comments during a Freakonomics podcast. When asked about the differences in the way men and women eat chips, Nooyi responded, "A lot of the young guys eat the chips, they love their Doritos, and they lick their fingers with great glee. Women would love to do the same, but they don't. They don't like to crunch too loudly in public. And they don't lick their fingers generously and don't like to pour the little broken pieces and the flavor into their mouth." She continued, "It's not a male and female as much as are there snacks for women that can be designed and packaged differently? And yes, we are looking at it, and we're getting ready to launch a bunch of them soon. For women, low crunch, the full taste profile, not have so much of the flavor stick on the fingers, and how can you put it in a purse?" This sent the internet into a tizzy, decrying lady-friendly Doritos and calling for Frito-Lay to rethink this sexist idea. PepsiCo, doing a bit of damage control, quickly clarified, the reporting on a specific Doritos product for female consumers is inaccurate. We already have Doritos for women, they're called Doritos, and they're enjoyed by millions of people every day. Also, one school reportedly banned the presence of chips on school grounds because of an almost unfortunate accident. According to Frito-Lay VP Senior Director of Marketing Jeff Klein, Doritos Roulette contains 1 in 6 chips that is melt your face hot. We're talking 78,000 on the Scoville heat scale. A jalapeno comes in at a paltry 2,500 to 5,000 units. The rest of the chips in the bag are classic nacho cheese, but they all look the same, which is where things turn into a game of Russian roulette. Though the bag warns, some of these chips are ultra spicy. One 14-year-old in the UK was undeterred and decided to tempt fate. After a few lucky choices, Beth Laybourne finally bit into a spicy chip. "I started retching, so I ran to the toilet and was sick. I had 4 mugs of milk, and my throat still wouldn't stop burning. I couldn't breathe properly, and I really thought I was going to die," she said. Laybourne, an asthmatic, continued, "I kept thinking that if it leads to a full-blown asthma attack, I could die." About a week later, she suffered a major asthma attack at school, believing it was linked to the ultra-hot Doritos. The scare prompted her school to ban the chips, saying, "They can cause distress, particularly to those with sensitivities, allergies, or breathing problems." Still, no scandal has been big enough yet to make Doritos slip from its loved and adored position. It is still being eaten worldwide, and really the chips sell themselves. It really already has a major win in advertisements just by being. Also, take into account that many celebrities love and publicly eat chips. Celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence can't keep their hands off the bag of different flavors of Doritos even while on set or at work. However, the poster girl for Doritos is undoubtedly Ali Landry. She first broke out into the commercial scene in 1998. The commercial features her doing backflips around a laundromat while eating Doritos for an audience of shocked men, one of them being Will and Grace's Sean Hayes. This would ultimately shoot her into the limelight even though she had just recently won Miss USA 1996. She would go on to be the Dorito girl in all major commercials for 2 decades. Today, Doritos is still one of the most popular chips in the world and one of Frito-Lay's best sellers. Doritos alone makes up a giant chunk of Frito-Lay's revenue, along with traditional Frito flavors. This snack is sold throughout the world and on just about every continent. Easily 100 million bags of various types of Doritos are consumed daily, and this trend will continue for the foreseeable future. There are reportedly over 100 various types of Doritos being sold worldwide, and still, it has an ever-increasing audience even though it might not be the most public eating-friendly snack.